Fast Fashion in Bangladesh, a project made by
Mel, Dunia, Nadia, and Laia.
We empathize with the cause as it is affecting several individuals. The labor conditions in the fast fashion business in Bangladesh have been precarious in the past years, and it is necessary to study and raise awareness to seek for changes in the industry. Laia, can you explain the Wallerstein's world system theory?
Sure, it consists of three spheres, which are core countries like the US or Spain, where companies like Zara and Nike are headquartered, managing research, design, and marketing. Semi-periphery, where skilled workers design and prepare patterns, often in lower income but industrialized countries. Periphery, where low-paid labor assembles the clothes. Bangladesh is here, producing garments under weak labor protections.
Laia, can you tell me a little bit about Taylor's theory?
Global scale. Transnational corporations and brands such as Zara, H&M, Primark use the cheap labor in Bangladesh to produce fastly and economically their products. On a national scale, the government of Bangladesh, with national factories and labor unions, is supposed to maintain export competitiveness and protect labor rights. On a local scale, it's possible to analyze worker conditions and factory environment, which tend to be precarious in Bangladesh. Here are two examples. Factory-level issues like unlivable wages, forced overtime, and workplace harassment, the challenges of union formation and collective bargaining at the factory floor level. The key global trends involved on our topic are
offshoring and manufacturing. Bangladesh has become one of the world's main garment manufacturing hubs thanks to its low wages and export-oriented policies. Fragmented global value chains, production steps, cotton, fabric, dyeing, sewing, shipping. Bangladesh mainly handles the assembly stage, depending on imported fabrics and machinery from countries like China and India.
rising energy and transport costs. Textile factories and exporters in Bangladesh face higher costs due to fuel price increases and new maritime emissions rules. Competition among producers' countries. When unrest happens in Bangladesh, orders are often diverted to other countries, such as Vietnam, Cambodia, and India. Mel, what about the flows?
Yes, raw material and inputs. Bangladesh imports cotton, dyes, machinery mainly from China and India. Labor flow. Over 4 million workers, mostly women, work in garment factories. Finished products export around 60% Bangladesh's clothing exports to the Western. Regulations and standards. Western brands enforce environment and labor audits. Shipping and logistics. Most clothing is shipped by sea through major maritime routes. Laia, can you talk about the actors?
Bangladesh has become the second largest exporter after China. Political unrest, factory disasters, or regulatory non-compliance in Bangladesh can disrupt global supply chains, illustrating the country's high dependence within the fashion system. In this complex system, several global actors influence operations and costs. Maersk, one of the world's largest shipping companies, facilitates the movement of garments from Asia to Europe and the US, introducing new routes such as China-Bangladesh to meet growing demand. The World Trade Organization sets trade rules and resolves tariff disputes, while the International Maritime Organization regulates shipping safety, fuel efficiency, and emissions, often leading to rising transport costs. Similarly, OPEC's control over oil prices affects shipping, electricity, and factory operations, making energy costs a critical factor in global production. Mel, has Bangladesh adopted any policy or regulations?
Well, they're trying. Bangladesh continues to face many challenges. There has been changes such as factor safety in wages as well as labor standards and sustainability. On the other hand, there has also been problems that persist. Not all of the factories have adopted the new minimum wages. By September 2024, only 68% of factories have implemented the minimum wages. The worker rights and the gender issues are still a big problem. Lack of oversight and working conditions are a problem that has still not been resolved. Laia, can you explain a little bit the situation in port of Chittagong?
Sure, most garments are produced in Savar, an industrial area near Dhaka, and shipped to the port of Chittagong, Chattogram, through which approximately 90% of the country's exports depart to Europe and North America. Sabar is known for the Rana Plaza tragedy in 2013 in Chittagong. Poor workers are also face low wages and long hours to meet the deadlines required for global exports. The environmental impact is severe. The rivers near Sabar are polluted by textile chemicals and forever chemicals, and the industry generates more than 500,000 tons of waste annually. At the port, maritime traffic pollutes the air and sea, directly affecting coastal communities. Thousands of people migrate to these areas in search of work, but end up living in overcrowded neighborhoods without basic services. Mal, can you talk about international and regional bodies involved?
Yes, the International Labour Organization has created the Decent Work Country programs, which consist of promoting minimum working conditions, which are content of national development strategies. Sustainability Council for ready-to-wear garments together with the Clean Clothes campaign, especially after the Rana Plaza accident, have improved work conditions by conducting regular inspections to verify the condition of electrical installations, fire doors, and the structural capacity of the factory. Laia, can you explain some possible solutions to the fast fashion issue in Bangladesh?
Yeah. Reform, building a more circular fashion industry. One of the UN Environment Programme solutions is reducing production volumes of new items and becoming more circular by keeping clothes and raw materials in use for as long as possible. To do that, clothing manufacturers should design garments that are more durable, use more sustainable fabrics, and make clothes easier to recycle. We also have business financial support. In an exclusive interview for BBC News, Dr. Aksan Mansour, the country's new central bank governor, said that international aid is crucial for a better future in the country. And also we have transformation. An option could be decolonization, decolonizing the Bangladesh fashion industry, shifting away the exploratory fast fashion model and reviving the pre-colonial legacy of artisan crafts and skilled textile production could be a way of positive impact. To conclude, synthesize insights.
How global structures affect local realities. Global demand for fast, affordable fashion drives production to Bangladesh, where national policies and low wages make factory competitive. This creates local realities of long hours, unsafe working conditions, environmental pollution, and overcrowding in places like Savar and Chittagong. In other words, what is profitable globally often comes at a local human environmental cost. The experiences of workers and communities reveal the hidden consequences of global economic structures and reminds us that consumption patterns have real and tangible impacts, far from where clothes are sold.
Finally, here we leave the sources used.
Thank you for watching the presentation.